Hi everyone, welcome. It's Thursday night, 8:15. This is our new and official starting time for GG Gaming Gone Mad. Good to be with you. We've got plenty of sport coming up. It's no coincidence that we're launching the show again just a couple of weeks before Super Rugby. It's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. We're also going to touch on the English Premier League, talk a bit of tennis, and of course we've got to touch on a little bit of horse racing as well. Well, he looks well rested after the December period. Gary Lentin, good to have you back on the show. How are you, and how was December and early Jan for you?
Yeah, I'm all good, Brent. Good to see you looking good. You're not a hell of a good judge, I'll be honest with you. Well rested. I had my parents here. They're about as, I'll be honest with you, as easy as a rattlesnake in the desert chasing a rat, you know. So the rest is definitely not the way I describe my December, to be perfectly honest with you. But, you know what I mean? It's great to have the family. My sister was here from Switzerland with the two kids. My brother's still here. He leaves on Monday. So everything's good, you know what I'm saying, Brent? But it's been busy. I haven't had a break, to be perfectly honest with you, you know. That's okay. That's the way I enjoy it, you know. I like to stay busy and everything. And I will, when the time's right, I'll take a few days and go away. But right now, everything's good and I'm having a lot of fun here in Cape Town. We've had a heat wave for the last few days. I'm pretty happy. No complaints at all, mate.
Excellent. Well, welcome to all the guys on the live chat. We'll bring up some of their comments as we go along. Robert G. Vin Naidu, Henrik Swart is there. I'm sure he's looking to take the bookies on, including GG Gaming, over the next 12 months as well. So welcome to you guys. If you are new to the channel, do go down below and subscribe. But Gary, I thought we'd kick off with a bit of Super Rugby because we're only 2 weeks away. And I've just noticed on Twitter and in social media, all the talks now on social rugby. We've, of course, got these superhero games coming up on Sunday, and people are starting to look at preseason friendlies and squads. What sort of interest have you had in the Super Rugby so far?
No, we've had a lot, Brent. We launched pretty early. We came out with the first week's games. Unfortunately, I can't say we were first this time because of the preparation everybody's got. Bet365 was up early, but we'll certainly be first out for the week 2 on Sundays. We're going back to that. We guarantee our prices by Sunday noon, the week of the rugby, so you don't have to worry about where to go first or where to get your early indications. You just got to come to GG Gaming.
Excellent. Well, we'll do our Sunday shows then, whether you guys come on or we just come out at about the same time as your odds. It'll be nice to let the guys see if there's early value.
Yeah, that would be great. We really appreciate that. And then what else have we got? We've got a few matchups up there that we put up. We have, you know what I mean, obviously the usual stuff.
Yeah, you've got. I brought them up. I just want to have a look quickly. You've got the head-to-head matchups. So, for example, you've got the Crusaders up against the Chiefs. This is now on log points over the season, and you've got 6-10 Crusaders, 12-10 the Chiefs, for example.
You're correct, and that's on log positions, as you say. The reason we chose those games is quite simply because we have a punter who gets us to do it every single year, and we just he sends us a whole lot of sheets, you know what I'm saying? And he jumped on early and everything. He sent it us, so we just put them on. Henrik he was quite involved today, took some trebles and everything. He'll be the first one to tell you I'm not letting any secrets out. He seems quite bullish about the Sharks and a few other things. And yeah, so he did stuff. I saw you said Robert G was online. He was pretty active today, back to 20-1 winner with us. So the guys are all there, rugby, horses, the whole lot, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, good to see the boys there.
Tigers, Chiefs, Hurricanes, Jaguars. I mean, who's the guy? Every year we sit and worry about who's going to beat the Crusaders, and you know what I mean. And these are too short and everything, but they always just somehow perform and everything. And whether they win or not, if you take the 2-1, I'm pretty sure you're going to get a run for your money in at least the semi-finals, Brent.
Yeah, well, let's have a look. I mean, it's dominated by New Zealand teams, Gary. I mean, I see Crusaders 2-1. Chiefs 7-2, Hurricanes 6-1, Jaguars obviously in the South African Conference at 8-1, and then you've got sort of 16-1 and better the balance. It really is dominated by the New Zealand teams. Any money coming for any of those teams in particular? I imagine the Chiefs are getting a bit of support.
Chiefs got some support. We laid at the bigger prices. We laid a lot of the Sharks.
Right.
A hell of a lot of Sharks, but at much better prices. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to bring up the SA conference betting. We've got this new scrolling feature at the bottom of it here. So I'll bring up the conference betting, and you've got the Jaguars even money. This is now the South African conference. Stormers 22-10, Lions 6-1, Sharks 9-1, and the Bulls 8-1. So Jaguars are actually firm favourites.
Yes, and that's on one good performance in Super Rugby. Let's be perfectly honest. They haven't been that good before. You know what I'm saying? Brent haven't shown that much interest before. So that was a huge improvement last year. And they're entitled to that. There's no doubt about it. I just want to mention this scrolling thing. I hope the guys like it because, I mean, they need to realize that you spend 80% of your 400 Rand budget getting this in there. You know what I'm saying, eh, Brent? So we left with 80 Rand for the rest of the year. All the capex is pretty much gone and spent. But fantastic, well done. No, I mean, that's only a joke. Yeah, so I don't know why. I don't know if it's because my physio's talking crap into my head or whatever, but I'm so bullish on the Stormers. But I guess, you know what I mean, a lot of people have done that in the past and done their money. You know, Lions, not for me. Sharks, not for me. Bulls, not for me. I don't know. I know we're the world champions, but if you look around and go back to the core of that Springbok side, Brent, a lot of them are out of the country. But those that are here, the majority are in Cape Town, you know? Yeah, there you go, Robert.
Robert likes the scroll. He feels like he's watching Teletrack.
Something a little bit more professional than Teletrack, right? You could have found something. You know what I mean?
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Gary, I must say, just on the Stormers topic, when the opening betting came out, I saw there was some 28-1 Stormers. I see you got 25-1 now. Immediately, that's what I thought. I mean, if you look at their squad on, you know, we always say on paper, the Stormers should be really big runners. I guess the question is, I suppose, how some of the guys will be managed over the season. But the reality with the way this is set up, I mean, if you can top the South African Conference, you've got your home playoff guaranteed. You must be in there with a chance. I'm going to take some of that 25-1 Stormers to win.
I like them. I really do. And I mean, there's apparently a hell of a good vibe. And, you know, the camp, and they've been training on. I mean, I know when they started training and everything. I don't know when everybody else did, Brent, but I mean, they went to the 24th of December and they were back at work on the 6th of January, right? And I mean, I saw videos, full contact. You know what I'm saying? There's no stories. So, you know, I think that they're all going to be well prepared and everything. I just think that the Bulls have lost so much of their core. They've also spoken Bulls for the last few years and they've delivered nothing. You know what I'm saying, Brent? So Bulls not for me. Sharks, same story. They just talk. You know what I'm saying? When the time going to come that they ever deliver something? You know what I'm saying?
Well, the Sharks always disappoint me, Gary. I liked them at the start of the season. And then I watched them. I've had seasons where they've had 5 of their first 6 games at home. And they've absolutely, you know, butchered them. And by the time they go on the road, their season's already done.
And then they'll come and tease you with the first win. They'll go overseas and they'll beat the Hurricanes in New Zealand. You think, oh, well, they're going to turn it on you. Then they might even go and, you know what I mean, run the Crusaders close. You think this is brilliant. And then they'll go to the Reds and be beaten 35-3. You know what I'm saying? And you know you're in the same crap as you were the year before. That's typical Sharks. We've seen it all before. And the Lions also, to me, they've just lost too many players.
Yes.
I don't like it at all. I think that the South African Conference, just like the Australian Conference, is a 2-team affair between the Jaguaries and the Stormers. And like I said, we'll get to the... And I think the New Zealand one is also... I know the Hurricanes are floating around there, but for my money, all 3 of the conferences are 2-team conferences, in my opinion.
Right. And looking at your betting there, I'll run through the betting. Crusaders 17-20. This is now obviously for the New Zealand Conference. Chiefs 18-10. Hurricanes 6-1. Highlanders 20-1. And my beloved Blues, who always seem to wangle some money out of me at some stage of the season, they're 20-1 as well. So, yeah, you know, it's virtually priced like a 2-horse race there with the Hurricanes, I suppose you'd say, lurking there at the sort of 6-1 mark.
Just to keep the 2 of them honest, right, Brent? That's what they're really doing there. You know what I'm saying? They're keeping the 2 main protagonists honest. But Shark has Brent Janssen.
So that's the Griquas coach, Gary. He came over from Griquas. I don't think he's the Sharks head coach. Henrik can correct me if I'm wrong. But he was very impressive at Griquas. And I know Henrik has always been saying, this guy's going to land himself a big job soon. And when he does, he'll follow him. And one thing I know about Henrik, when it comes to rugby betting, he follows coaches. He's got his coaches that he rates. And when it comes to points, he's got his refs that he either rates or doesn't rate. In other words, overs or unders refs type of thing. And it's quite sorry, Gary?
He's very smart and a big winner, and people should follow him. You know what I'm saying? But just that the Sharks has Brent Janssen. That's interesting. I'll retaliate. You know what I'm saying? My cousin Claire van Rooyen has herpes, but I mean, I don't know if that helps at all. You know what I'm saying? I just thought throw something out there. She's an assistant at Jasmine Massage Parlor in Call It Drive in Johannesburg. So it's all working around there, you know. But no. I mean, the truth be told, right? Henrik's reputation speaks. His results speak for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And
for sure.
Letting out too many of his trade secrets. But the fact, very smart what you said there. Referees dictate how many points are going to be scored in a game. There's no doubt about that, Brent. no doubt. You know what I mean? People need to follow that. That's crucial. And coaches, yeah, of course. I mean, more so, I guess, in rugby than anything else. But I don't know. I mean, I just, like I said, I mean, what can he coach those Sharks to do? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. To me, I can't have the Sharks. That's why they're 100-1. I keep shortening them every time one of Henrik and his guys come for it. And then I just push it out again, because at the end of the day, I'm going to take my chances to beat the Sharks. You know what I'm saying? And see where that goes. You know, the only thing is this. I just don't understand. Crusaders 2-1, Chiefs 7-2, Hurricanes 6-1. You can also get 6-1 a Hurricanes to win the conference in New Zealand. You know what I mean? That might be better. Yes. Although the fact is they can win the conference and not win the Super Rugby, Brent?
Yeah.
And they can win
it's
Super
true.
Rugby without winning the conference. So anything can happen, right? So maybe if you do like the Hurricanes, take a little bit of both, you know?
So it's going to be hard for us to run a comp at this stage, obviously, on Super Rugby, because we're 2 weeks away from the first games. But just to sort of lead us in, I think we got a big betting, a lot of betting coming up over the next few weeks, Gary. And you were saying to me before the show, you still want to look at a package with that Nadal Federer game and some hotels and stuff like that. So we'll come up with something over the next couple of days and get it up on Good for the Game over the weekend, so that 100%. Guys can spend some money coming into Super Rugby.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? We'll work out something that gives everybody a fair chance, Brent, whether it's big punters or small punters. We'll give them a chance to spend money and get tickets into the draw and all that type of stuff. It's on the 7th, Friday, the 7th of February. So we want to get the guys in there early. So they just need to go into your site tomorrow. And by then you and I would have worked out something reasonable and feasible. And, you know, let's get the guys involved nice and early. You know what I'm saying? Not involved from a bad thing, but involved in the opportunity to win these seats, you know?
Excellent. Well, that's Super Rugby for you. Obviously, we're going to get more and more into that. And I'm very pleased you guys are going to be coming out on a Sunday, because I always like to get my handicaps out nice and early as well. But then balance of the weekend, I mean, there's plenty of other sport on. There's obviously the cricket and that, but perhaps let's move on to English Premier League. Gary, we got, I suppose, it's a big fixture, Liverpool against Man United. If you look at the betting, and I'll bring that up on the scrolling now, it's certainly nothing like we would have seen in the past. I mean, you've got 7-20 Liverpool at home, and you can't argue with the odds here.
No, I mean, that's crazy, right? I mean, that's the right price. I mean, even that, if you think about it, unless something really goes wrong for Liverpool, 7-20, you're probably going to get the money. You know what I'm saying, Brent? They're just so good, and Man United are so poor. And, it's just Liverpool are dominating, and they're going to win the league long before May, let's be perfectly honest. You know what I'm saying? I suppose no club deserves it really more than them. You know what I mean? They're a massive, massive club. And let me just message this guy, call him back. They're a huge club, and it's the one thing that's eluded quite a few of them for a while. You know what I'm saying? And I, for one, will be very happy if they do win it.
You don't have to worry about Henrik winning your competition for the tennis.
Okay. I'll see you next.
You could win it and give it to someone else, maybe.
What's that?
I'd say you could win the competition and give it to someone else.
Yeah, exactly. But I hope he doesn't wear that hat, because nobody behind him will be able to see a thing, you know. Look, it's going to be a hell of an occasion, that Federer and Nadal thing. Whether they go and there's somebody phoning me. I'm just going to put him on speaker. I'm just on doing a TV show, Gareth. I'll call you back.
Should we do a comp on this game, Gary, for like a voucher on this game? Liverpool United.
Let's do something. Let's go with the first team to score and the time, Brent. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good. First team to score and time of goal. And closest gets it. Are we going to set a limit? It's got to be within so many minutes?
I'll say within, 19 minutes in soccer. Within 9 minutes, Brent. I think
within 9 minutes. Then we'll definitely get someone. So let's see what the boys, we'll bring up some of the responses as they come in. And what voucher are we going to give there, Gary?
Should we go for 5? Let's go for 1,000 to kick off the year, Brent.
Okay, great. That's 1,000 Rand free bet voucher if you get that. First guy in is Jason Denman coming up, Liverpool, 31st minute. And I suppose we'll see quite a lot of Liverpool coming through. United, Gary, for me, have just been so inconsistent. I mean, my team, Watford, beat them a while ago to start a lovely run. Watford, we fought our way out of the relegation zone. We've been amazing. But, I mean, United, some days they look so ordinary, and then other times they can almost look like the team of old. But I just can't see. I think Liverpool have just got too much for them.
Much too much. I mean, aren't Watford at home to Spurs this weekend?
Yeah, it's a big one that for Watford, because also we've just climbed out the relegation zone. Yeah, we got Robert G, though, just to run through some of the ones. Man United in the 25th minute scored. Geez, he's even picking the scorer. First time viewer, as far as I know, Richie Robbins, Liverpool in the 6th minute.
Okay, so Richie Robbins, that's not bad, but he could have also gone for what would have happened if he goes for, is he not better off going Liverpool 9th minute?
But the only thing is someone else could then come under him.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And they could, and let's just have a look here. Some more coming in. Warren Lester is going 13th. Peter's going 15th. Darnie's going Liverpool. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. We definitely
competition this, right? And rightly so. It's a huge game. Just to qualify, you have to have had a bet with GG Gaming before the game starts off. Doesn't matter what size, right? We're not going to give anybody any preference whether they're big or small. You know what I'm saying? That's what my ex-girlfriend said out after a week. But we're not going to give anybody any preference whether they're big punters or small punters. You just have to have had a bet with GG Gaming before that game kicks off.
Okay, 100%. We'll put that in our T's and C's, and it's something we'll have on the weekend. So you enter the competition. If you don't have an account yet, go to GGGaming.bet, open an account, and place a bet. As Gary said, he's not worried. You don't have to place a massive bet, but just place a bet, and then you're in line for that voucher if you can be the closest there. So that's that, Gary. I guess cricket-wise, just did you watch the Test match today? I didn't get to see much of it. I'm back at work now, but I was following a lot of the sort of, call it Twitter commentary. It seems like that's a bit of a dead track, that one.
Well, it always is there, isn't it? Just one thing I've noticed, there seem to be a lot of new names there, right, Brent? And I think let's just try to focus this year on bringing new people to the show. You know what I'm saying? And if we can, and the only way to really do that, like you say, you've got a day job. I've pretty much I run. You know what I mean? I've got a day job as well. You know what I'm saying? So the people have to help us, Brent. You know what I mean? We give a lot to them. You know what I mean? Your admin and the time you put into this show, I don't think people realize how much that is and everything, Brent. And you get, you know what I mean? You get a lot of work that you have to do here. And also, GG Gaming, you know what I mean? I make sure that, you know what I mean, I'm available every weekend, every Thursday night at 8:15, and we like to give a lot of prizes and everything. And of course, but I mean, we'd like to see the show keep growing and everything and become something really meaningful over the next sort of year. And like I said, we're going to do that. Like, guys, tell your mates, and we're going to give specials, and we're going to reward guys for loyalty, support, and watching the show. And it shouldn't be punishment to watch the show. I mean, surely everybody watches the show because it's, you know what I mean, a lot of fun and they enjoy it. And you know what I mean, occasionally we throw around a 1-4 shot that does actually win. You know what I'm saying, Brent? I mean, there was a time last year when you and I both took the winner in one calendar month, which was brilliant. You know what I'm saying?
That's superb.
Often, but I mean, it can happen from time to time. But you know what I mean? We're going to do it. And guys must also say what they want, Brent? Like,
yes, I think that's important.
You know, people like the Liverpool Man United compo. Let them put on the site what they want and what they want to do and everything. And, you know, for new guys that come to the show, we buy racehorses. We go to the course. We're going to go to the course together. We put together syndicates. We do a lot. We really are trying to form some type of, let's call it a community. You know what I'm saying, Brent? So you bring your mates along and, you know, they don't have to be big punters. I promise you, we're not judgmental or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
Just while you're reading that, Gary, I just want to stress what you said there. I think definitely we'd look to grow the show, and you and I put our heads together as well. And as you say, loyalty rewarded, and we'd like to see new guys coming in all the time. You've had time to absorb what Robert said there. I mean, I had my money. I don't often back favourites, Gary, but I had the feeling I backed a while that day. I mean, it never looked a danger at all. As Robert says, any opinions on that?
Well, I mean, I think everybody's got an opinion except for maybe me, because I just, you know, I think that to say, you know, let me put it to you this way. In sport, it would make no difference to me if they allowed tennis players to have 3 serves or 1 serve instead of 2 serves, as long as both players had the rules. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then I think it's not quite the same when it comes to personalities and horses standing around. You know, Hawam, he's an uptight individual. It couldn't have helped Hawam. There's no doubt about it. It couldn't have helped Hawam. But now I don't want to take away from Vardy, because those came from stone last to win, going away like an absolute good thing. You know what I mean? He's bred and owned by, you know what I mean, one of my favourite guys in the world. So I'm not taking anything away from Vardy. I think he's a superstar. I think he'll be a tough horse to beat in the Met. I think that it didn't help anybody, that thing. I mean, I know for a fact that Socrates is a nice, relaxed horse. By the time he went into the start, he was a nervous wreck as well. So it affects different horses different ways, and guaranteed that it affected Hawam. No doubt about it. It may not have affected Vardy. they will meet again, Robert? We all know that, you know what I mean? They will meet again, and then we will know for sure, you know what I'm saying?
I brought up the betting there, Gary, for the anti-post betting for the Met. We've got a Wam there at 8 to 10, 18 to is it 18 to 10 and Vardy at 28 to 10? Is that correct?
That's correct. 18 to 10, 28 to 10, 11 to 2, 8 to 1. Do it again. Careful about that. He may not run. 20 to 1. Twist of fate. One of my mates tipping twist of fate quite strongly. One World 25 to 1. That's not in the race. It can start early. It's got no chance whatsoever. And then as you keep going down there, Shango's an interesting one. Bunker Hunt. No, they're all interesting. Charles, you know, you're starting to clutch at straws there. If it was me, if you go back to the top there, Brent, right. I think that Rainbow Bridge wasn't the luckiest horse in running either on Queen's Plate Day. I think he's proven himself. I think that to me, that's where the value is. Do it again, may not run. Vardy, you know what I mean? He's a superstar, no doubt about it. Hawan, there are question marks. You know, for me, if you want to have an anti-post bet, get involved on. You know what I mean? Let's go for what's his name, Rainbow Bridge there. And I think that what we'll do is next week we'll do something on the Met, Brent. We'll run a special. They've been a great combo to follow. That is true. We'll do something on the Met whereby the guys, you know what I mean, if the horse gets scratched, we'll give them back their money or something like that, and we'll go like that. We can actually do that now. If any guy good for the game, we're going to say, has a bet, anti-post on the Met, and your horse is scratched up to the day before the Met, we'll give you back your stake, okay? As long as you just write there, when you have the bet, you send an email to you or Kerry saying, I've had a bet, if the horse gets scratched, I'm
100%.
My money back, and we'll give it to them. You know what I'm saying, Brent? So let's do that. So now there's value, right? Now you can go and have a dip at some of those bigger prices, and you got good value there. So, yeah. Now to go back to your next thing before we started to answer Robert's question, and I know I never gave him anything really exclusive, but they'll meet again, and we will see. The cricket, I did watch it. I watched a hell of a lot of the cricket today. And, you know, it's not often. I mean, I love cricket and I watch so much of it. And not often that I turn on a test match and I see a guy bowling and I don't know where he's come from. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's just so many new guys coming into the cricket, into the test team and everything. I don't know what the story is there. I see Babuma got 180 odd not out today for Transvaal. I'm sure he'll be back in the mix next week. Brent, I'll say this. I don't think this test match is over yet. I honestly believe, and you're going to think I've lost my mind, that 4-5 to 1 South Africa's big value here.
You think they can?
They get into these too early, and they get England all out for under 300. I think that's nice cricket to bat on tomorrow afternoon. You know, obviously they got to get into them. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they were very, very lucky today. I thought England. I thought the decision. I still haven't got my mind around how it works. I mean, I know how it works. It still doesn't make sense to me.
I know which one you're talking about.
The one against Stokes, right?
Yes, the Maharaj, eh? Oh, no, it was who was it? Who was bowling?
Wasn't it?
Because I wasn't watching, so I just saw the pitch. You know where they show that pitch map on Twitter? Guys were showing screenshots, and I mean everybody was saying the same thing. How can that? It's not even like the ball had to travel anywhere. You knew it pitched in line, so how can that be umpire's call?
Exactly, and I mean, and the fact is that it was hitting the wicket, and surely that has to overrule most other things, Brent. Surely the most important thing in an LBW decision is where the ball finishes, right? So, in my opinion, if Hawkeye can say, or whoever it is, I don't know what it is, that it's hitting the stumps guaranteed, right? There was no bat involved. It didn't pitch out the legs, outside the leg stump. There was no overstepping the line, no throwing of the ball. The fact that an umpire might have thought that it touched halfway, rubbish. That should have been out. And, you know, I felt a bit for them there, because I think if they got in there, they would have been 140 odd for 4 or 5. And then I think that England would have been in a lot of trouble. I still just got a sneaky feeling. I'd like the guys that have got a speculative couple $100,000 on them to put it on South Africa. I don't think they'll be sorry. I think that they'll trade at a profit in the next 24 hours for sure.
Yeah, and certainly the way these test matches have gone, it's been swings and roundabouts. I mean, if I think of the first test, I think it's Centurion. I mean, the betting was all over the place. And I tend to agree with you, and wickets have tended to fall in clumps in this series as well. One thing I will say is that I'm impressed by what I've seen of Pope so far in the series. And Stokes is obviously the man they got to get, because Stokes, once he looks like he's played a fairly conservative role by his standards, but once he decides to cut loose, he could potentially take the test match away. But how about a little competition, Gary? How about a little competition on this one? And we'll make it maybe just a 500 voucher or something, a little bit of a tough one. We'll say maybe which team's going to get the first innings lead and by how many runs. And we say you've got to be within, well, we can make it quite big because it's not an easy one, I guess. Maybe within 30 runs or something like that.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. That's easy. Let's give 500 Rand for that. There's also another great game tomorrow as well, Brent. I think India playing Australia game tomorrow in another 50 overs match. I don't know if you followed the first game.
I happened to catch the end of the first game because I think it was my last day of leave the other day, and I switched over, and Warner and Finch, they won by 10 wickets. And I mean, India were quite short price favourites before the game.
They were, and they got absolutely destroyed. I thought that Australia bowled well and fielded well. And the batting, obviously, to win by 10 wickets with 12 overs to spare, whatever it was really fantastic. A great performance. And that's the side on the up everywhere, whether it be 5-day test match or 1-day test matches or T20. Australia are on the up. You know what I'm saying? There's no doubt about that. And that's the 8 to 10.
You 8 to 10 India and just shy of even money Australia.
Yeah, so they've come a lot closer after the first match. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they're right. I mean, India got off to a decent start there, but they've just gone back into that old thing of when Kohli goes, everybody's looking around. Now what? You know what I'm saying, Brent? And that's the problem for them. They've got to get out of that it's only Kohli type of mentality that they sometimes have, There you go. There's the first one coming in. So, yeah, I mean...
So we'll say you've got to get it within 30 runs, guys. Obviously, the first thing we look at is that you get the right team. And a bit of variety here. We've got Nika Olifia here coming in with SA by 33 runs. Rob, he reckons England are going to lead by a country mile, 125. Sean Nicholas joins us. I don't think he's been here on the rest of the show, but we did chat about your beloved Liverpool earlier, Sean. And, so we've got a nice variety of entries there. It'll be nice because this will give the guys... This could potentially only be decided possibly halfway through day 3, because England could bat a while tomorrow and South Africa may bat long. It may even go to the end of day 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the truth, It's an interesting one. I would go with South Africa by 30. That would be my tip there. I want to just have a couple of tips here. I'm going to go South Africa 30, and I'm going to go Liverpool 9th minute. Those would be my 2 tips so far.
SA 30, Gary, for you. And what was the Liverpool tip? 9
minutes.
Okay, and Liverpool in the 9th, right? I'll put those 2 on here. So we got a record of those.
And then what else can we have? Let's have one more, Brent. I mean, the show's coming, coming towards. I know you're going to log off because you like to get ready for your main rugby show of the week again, which is always fantastic to watch. And then I guess we'll get together again on Thursday night, and then we're going to go Thursday, Sundays going forward with the rugby betting. Yes. We'll always launch one us to do on your show.
I'm sure Dave will be making an appearance on the Sunday show every now and again.
Yeah, definitely will. I definitely will. Brent, you have my word. I'll do at least one every 2 Sundays. I also have a new marketing guy that started with me, James. He wants to get on the show and get involved occasionally on it. But he's a good guy and he's got a lot of, a lot of good ideas and everything. He's very big on the social media side of stuff. So let's do this. Let's do one other competition this weekend. We've done soccer. Is it fair to do a rugby? Let's do a rugby thing, Brent. I mean, it's nothing, right? I mean, we're just giving away money. Let's give away 500 Rand. Let's give away 1,000 Rand rather, right? 1,000 Rand. Tell us the total amount of points that will be scored on Sunday. That funny little thing that's taking place in Soccer City, right? I mean, we know it's and everything, right? Total points. We don't care who wins and loses because we all know that it's pre-season and that makes no difference. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, total points. There are 2 games. Am I correct, Brent?
There are 2 games. The guys could just confirm. I know there's betting out on 2 games. I doubt they play each other again later. So I think it's just the 2 matches. It's Stormers against Sharks. I know there's been lots of money for the Sharks today. And then it's Bulls against Lions. I think those are the games. Yeah,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So total points in the 4 games, in the 2 games, the 4 teams, the 2 games. And if you get it you have to get within, should we say, 8 points there.
Okay, within 8 points. Total points over the 2 games.
Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Oh, and I see that. Yeah. And then we'll give 1,000 Rand for that. And then let's think about this. What about the Conor McGregor fight, right? That takes place early Sunday morning. Am I correct?
I think so. Yeah, I know there is UFC. I haven't had a look yet, but I know the boys enjoy their UFC and enjoy their betting on that as well.
And it's something that we will.
What we can do? Why don't we come up with a? Why don't you and I? We'll talk with by WhatsApp after the show, and I'll put something in our newsletter tomorrow morning. A competition maybe for the UFC. We put it in the newsletter, and the guys we'll talk about it. Either they got to email me or they can tweet or whatever, and we'll have a little competition around the UFC.
Okay, I've got a nice idea as well, and we'll do it with EFC as well. We might not be able to do it now, Brent, but if the guys give us a chance, right, they'll give us a little bit of time warning. We'll come up with like a soccer 10 or whatever you call it for EFC and UFC, right?
Right.
And the guys will go and they'll be able to choose. We'll say you've got a budget. You know how it works there. We'll give them point, draw, knockouts, submission, points, whatever it is. So you'll have 5 options, 5-1 by submission, by knockout, by points, whatever. And we'll do like a soccer 10, Brent, and we'll create. People have to spend, say, for argument's sake, 200 Rand. And if the pool gets to 2 grand, we'll put in another 1,000. Or if it gets to 5 grand, we'll put in 2,000. If it gets to 10 grand, we'll put in 5. Whatever it is, we'll make it like a pool tote, Brent. But we'll seed the tote at GG Gaming. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%. That sounds great.
Yeah, and we'll do that every time there's a UFC or an EFC. But we won't manage to do it this week because we've only thought about that. But you and I, we'll put something up on the site by tomorrow for the Conor McGregor fight.
Excellent. No, we'll do a bit of planning on that one. Gary, then just to finish off, we've got 3 lacquer competitions for the guys, lots of entries coming in. So good to see all of you guys joining us at the start of the year. And as you say, we hope to just see the show grow and grow. But talking of growth, the Good for the Game Syndicate grew very quickly. We got, I think it's 13 guys there. We all put in. We got the 2 horses. We'll be sending out some communications over the next couple of days, just finalizing everyone's shares in that. But you heard anything from Lucky? Are the horses in training? Any indication when we might get our first runner?
I saw him on Tuesday night, I think it was. I was having supper at Vasco's, and all the guys were there because there's a big sale in Cape Town now. And I did speak to Lucky. It was quite late at night, and he went, give me another beer. No, I'm only joking. He didn't say that. He might have had a few. He didn't say that at all. He just said he's really, really looking forward to the guys coming and visiting there. You know what I mean? He knows that everybody's coming. I've told him, and we'll go through everything when we get there, and we'll see the horses. It's on. He's excited, and you know what I mean? So are all of us. And you know what I mean? Our syndicate is formed, and we're ready to roll. Like Brent, the first visit to the farm will be in 2 weeks' time to look at the horses. And,
Great.
you know, from there, when they're going to run. And, you know, when that's one of those come romping home in their first 2 starts, then we'll get the next syndicate going, right?
Right, just a quick one. Henrik, we'll talk about this another time. James Dalton challenging Haskell to a fight in the UFC. There was something on YouTube about that as well. So that's another one we could talk about. I mean, Gary, I wonder what sort of betting interest a fight between, say, you and me would attract in UFC.
Well, I mean, I first got to get through my wife on Sunday morning when I wake her up at 5 o'clock to watch Conor McGregor, right? That will be the first challenge for me for the weekend. So I'm going to training on Sunday morning at 5 o'clock with probably, hopefully, not more than a 2-rounder against Lauren, you know? But no. I mean, she's okay. We're starting our swimming career tomorrow, Lauren and I as well. I mean, there's a lot of exercise promised in my house, you know?
If you send me a little 30-second video clip, I'll play it on the show next week.
I'll be swimming, or Lauren and I in bed on Sunday morning fighting over the controls. So anyway, I bought a thing. Not bad. I think he's having a go at you and me, Brent. I bought No, you didn't see that at first, exactly. Goggles and a snorkel and all those things. And I put my snorkel on, and I thought somebody was behind me because I heard this heavy breathing, you know? So I don't know how
it's you in the snorkel.
But yeah, they're making fun of our extra bulk, Brent. But that's okay, you know what I mean? There are a lot of countries and people in the world that see slightly overweight as a sign of wealth and intelligence, you know what I'm saying? So these little pull-throughs that are jealous, you know what I mean? That's okay. We can take it, you know?
We'll never be jockeys. Let's put it that way, Gary. But no, it's been a great show. Anything from you to finish off?
No, just like I said, guys, let's grow this community. Let's grow this show. It's not about my business. It's about the fun that we're having. It's about going and watching horses run together. And it's about, I think, I'd like to have a Christmas dinner this year or an Easter dinner, whatever it is. When I come down to Joburg or we meet in Cape Town, maybe we have one in Cape Town, one in Durban, one in Joburg, where we get together 20, 30 guys and we really just have a great time all the time, because that's what it is, Brent. You're good for the game, but everybody else can also be good for the game.
Excellent. And just to mention, we will have a little bit of a comp in tomorrow's news. We'll try and experiment on the UFC. So look out for that tomorrow morning. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's a free subscription. Go down below. You can subscribe there or on the Good for the Game website. Gary Lentin, as always, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Been great fun chatting. And thanks very much to the boys on the live chat. I didn't know we'd get so many guys on the first show of the year. And this will be our regular time. 8:15 on a Thursday means we don't have to rush the show before the handicap rugby chat that matters, which of course starts now at 9 o'clock. Gary, thanks, and we'll chat soon.
Brent, take it easy. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Brent, thanks so much. Thanks for all you do. Cheers.
Excellent. It was Gary Lentin from GGGaming.bet. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching. Do subscribe to that newsletter if not done yet. We'll have that competition for probably a 500 Rand voucher out tomorrow. Thanks for entering the others. And, guys, we're going to be going in about 10 minutes. So just to let you know how we're going to run the handicap show, we're going to be talking Super Rugby outrights with Henrik and the conductor. Then Henrik's going to exit the show, and we're going to talk about the weekend's Champions Cup games. We've got a new guest. In fact, I believe it's guests. It's two guys that run the account. I think on Good for the Game, they long live punt, and they son of a punt on Twitter. They're going to be joining us on the show as well. So looking forward to that. New guests talking rugby betting. Hey, I'm excited for this year. Thanks, everyone, and see you next week.